All right, welcome back to my channel. If you're brand new here, thank you for joining us. If you've been here before, thank you for coming back. So if you haven't subscribed, do that right now. Turn on the notifications, keep writing comments. I am reading. Okay, so for those of you who do not know, on this channel, I pull back the velvet curtain, we go behind the scenes, and basically I break down some of my favorite tricks and illusions. So with that being said, today we're taking a look at a very different piece. I'm known for performing very dramatic illusions, death-defying escapes. This piece is comedy, a lot more fun. Now, most people don't really kind of recognize me for that, but when you see my live theater show, 90-minute, a 2-hour show, there's actually a lot of comedy. In actual fact, without trying to sound conceited, a lot of people come out of the show and say, oh, I didn't realize you were quite that funny. Now, it's not that I'm actually funny, it's the fact that the show is very serious, or romantic, or dramatic, or emotional. So when there is a piece of comedy in there, it appears very, very funny, which once again goes back to what I'm always saying on this channel, that the show, my live show is really like a film. There needs to be peaks and troughs and highs and lows, and it can't just be a chase scene the entire time. You've got to build up to it. You've got to make the audience love you and adore you. They need to care about you before you jump in a water tank and you know, going to kill yourself. So, and to do that, it need to be multifaceted. And so that's why in the show, there's the comedy pieces, the romantic pieces, the pieces where I work with children, etc. This piece is called Comedy Headsaw. Okay, so the comedy headsaw illusion. Great for a TV special because it breaks it up. It makes it very, very different. This piece is interesting. It's based off an old illusion called the French guillotine or the head chopper. I never actually performed that particular piece, but I saw many great magicians on VHS tape perform that particular piece. And in essence, what it was, a person had their head inside an old guillotine with a big saw above, and there's a lot of kind of audience interaction and comedy play. So that's what it's based off, but it's modernized. Instead of done with a guillotine, it's done with a buzz saw, which of course makes sense to today's modern audience. All right, with that being said, this illusion is challenging in a couple of different ways. Not challenging from really an apparatus perspective, not challenging from really a blocking or staging. There's not really that much choreography, not challenge from lighting, but the challenge is picking the right audience member. And people ask this a lot. You know, is this particular person set up? Were they real? Did the people who participate in the show, are they real people? Yes, we can't do shows, you know, twice a day, every day, and just have stooges in the audience. They're real people. But through experience, through 20 plus years of live performance, you learn to select people out of the audience. The magic show lives and dies with the audience members you select. So, for example, if you get somebody up on stage and they're very excited and they're a bit jittery, they're quite hard to what we call audience manage. And therefore they don't really listen, they don't follow instructions, they kind of do their own thing. You don't want that. Having them excited is great, but too excited means they can't follow direction and instruction. On the flip side, you have the opposite problem where you get somebody up who is very shy, and has a very soft demeanor. And the problem with that is that you can't get anything out of them. They're not going to participate. They'll do everything you tell them to do, but they won't participate and make the act better. This act, if the audience member doesn't participate, it falls flat. It actually really does. So selecting the audience member is very, very tough. Okay, I guess you're probably asking, well, how do you do that? Well, you kind of tell, when you're walking down the aisle, you make sure you select somebody who's making eye contact. You select somebody who's able-bodied, for example. You select somebody who looks like they want to participate and have fun. And honestly, a lot of it is based off the energy I actually feel. And you do, in an audience, when you get that many people, I mean, I guess we can understand that now with COVID and what's happening, we've all kind of missed this. You feel energy from people. People who don't want to participate, they're always going to look down. You're not going to select that kind of person anyway. But you need to just be able to connect with that person and connect quickly. One of the tricks, if you want to call it a trick, one of the tricks I use is as I'm going through the audience, I know exactly what's in my 2-hour show. So let's say I go in the audience to select somebody to do a card trick. I'll be thinking about what person I'll be selecting for the card trick, the illusion. But at the same time, I'll be scouting the audience, making sure that for the next effect, I have somebody possibly in mind. So in my show, I might go into the audience 50% of the time. So even though I'm selecting a person for that particular piece that's going to take place, I'm thinking ahead. I'm thinking, oh, that person would be good for that piece. And that guy over there would be good for this one. And I'm scouting and looking and taking note. Kind of like the Terminator. I'm like, yep, that's good. This person, good. And then when I go in a second time, I make sure again, are they still making contact with me? Excellent. Okay, they would be good. That person. And so you can also tell just by their demeanor and how they're sitting in their seat. You know, there's so many factors that come into play. And I learned most of this by doing school incursions. I would do school performances with my brother. We basically, in my beaten up blue little van, we traveled all around the country. We traveled across the Nullarbor multiple times in this van with no air conditioning and wind down windows. And I would do 2 schools a day every day. Like I would do 10 basically schools a week. And I did that for over 10 years. Now, the show never changed because the act was what it was, and what we could fit in the van is what we could fit. But the audiences changed. So for example, sometimes it was prep, sometimes it was year 2, sometimes it was the entire school, sometimes it was high school. I remember when I first started, I was performing for kids that were 17 and I was 16. So performing for people who were older than I was. And the show didn't change, but the way I approached it, the language, my take on it would actually change. My demeanor to it would change. And I learnt how to select children to come up on stage to help me, because a lot of kids will put their hand up and want to come on stage, but once they get up on stage, they look out and they see 250, 300 kids, students, and they freeze. So you learn to select students that are fun, that participate, that won't get shy, that aren't being too clever, that try and overtake the show. That's why they say never work with animals or children, which is kind of true, but I love working with children. But I learnt my skills to select audience members by doing 10 years of schools. So that type of performance is heavily reliant on audience participation. And when you put it in a show, a 2-hour show or a TV special, an hour TV special, it breaks up all the dramatic stuff and it's a lot of fun. So that's the setup to how I select people. That's really why it's in the TV special, why it's in my live show. And I hope you guys enjoy it. So here we go.
Connecting with the crowd is always a buzz for me, especially when I get to surprise them with a chance to participate in the show.
Would you help me out?
I love it when the unexpected takes over. But for Meg, well, she's in for a little more than she bargained for. Meg?
Yes.
Tonight you're going to play the role of my trainee assistant. Okay? Now, the magician and the assistant have a very strong bond. Okay? It's all about split-second timing. More importantly, Meg, it's all about trust. I need you to trust me.
Right.
Can you do that?
I try, yes.
Okay. Come with me, come with me, come with me. What I need you to do is come around here. And I need you to just kneel down, good. That's nice and comfy, that's good. And see this little hole here? Just take a look on the other side. Just take a look on the other side. Good. Perfect, great, that's perfect. One size fits all. Yes. Okay, I'm just gonna push this up like this, Meg. Yeah, that's good. Just like that. You can see that you're nice and comfortable. Okay, that's good. Smile, try and look happy. Great. Okay, Meg.
Yes.
Now that you're locked inside and you can't escape,
No, I cannot.
let me show you what's really going to happen.
What?
Meg,
Yes.
we're going to perform bloodless surgery. Now, I'm going to take this 26-inch blade, push it straight through your neck. If all goes according to plan, you won't die. Sounds good, great, perfect, let's begin. Okay, so, Meg, we're going to do it on the count of 3, okay? Count of 3, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Meg, it's all good here. It's all good.
great.
It's all good. Everything's good. Everything's good. Everything's good. Everything's good back here. That's good. Okay. Let me just let's work this out. So we've got there's French, German, Tasmanian, English. Okay, good. So, Meg, everything's good. Everything's good. I've done this once before. Okay, so let me just see. 1, turn anti-clockwise. Good. 2, turn the gas on. And Meg, I can't work it out. No need to be nervous. Nothing will go wrong. Yeah, everything's gonna.
Great.
It's a good idea. Yeah. That's good. Do you know what? I think this is more appropriate. Okay. Now, Meg, there's no need to worry, because I personally have my own life insurance, okay? Sounds good? Okay, so, here we go. The count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Here we go! Yeah! Everyone give it up for Meg! Thank you so much, Meg. We survived.
I can't believe I'm in one piece. It was pretty scary. After tonight, I am definitely a believer.
Okay, first off, I have to say, Meg, super great sport. You know, because sometimes when you reveal that cloth and they see the saw after doing it on tour for a long, long time, people freak out. Now, the truth is, once they're locked in, they can't escape. But you really don't want someone, you know, getting very anxious or nervous about the effect. Now, obviously, I'm not going to cut her head off, but stranger things have happened. Not meaning that her head's really going to fall off. It is a trick, it is an illusion, okay? But some people really think, oh my gosh, my head's going to be cut off. That's never going to happen. But you can't stop somebody from thinking like that. So you walk this very fine line where you want them to be a little nervous, but of course, have fun and play with you. So the selection process is extremely important. You wouldn't do this piece as an opening number, because you need to build up that rapport with the audience so they understand that you are a nice guy, that you are, in my case, you know, you may look a certain way, but you're gentle and you're kind, and that you're going to look after them. And we never bring people up on stage to make, you know, really to make fun of them, to diminish them, but it's to have fun with them. And Meg, what a great sport. And there's many pieces in the show that we'll continue to review that basically play off that kind of notion or idea. But I can't stress how much you can only practice this type of effect to a certain point. You can practice the routine, how things come on and off, how you're going to get the audience member up, how you're going to get them out. You'll notice everything I do when I lift up the neck stock, it's very gentle, it's not rough. You rehearse all that, you can rehearse lines, but then you got to go out there and you've got to do it. And by doing it, what I call flight time, you can, as a pilot, you can go through all the flight simulations you want, but until you physically get in the plane and you actually fly, you don't know everything. You can understand wind conditions, you can understand this, you can understand that, but until you get out there and you really experience it hands-on, that's when, yes, all your practice and your prior knowledge comes into place, but that's when you learn a lot and you go, okay, maybe I'll approach it a little bit different, or maybe I'll take this direction, or maybe I'll look for volunteers that are more like A. And because each effect is going to produce a different result out of an audience member. So there are certain characteristics you will look for. So for example, in this particular case with Meg, you're looking for someone who's very easily willing to kind of participate, who's not going to be too embarrassed. Someone also, by the way, that doesn't have bad knees or anything like that, although she's on a rubber mat. But still, you don't want someone who's got bad knees or a back problem. So these are all the things that you're looking for. That's a little harder to select than, let's say, asking someone to pick a card. So these are the things that go through my mind when I'm performing a show, and sometimes you can get caught up in it, and you've got to practice and get to the point where you can be free from all those restraints so that you can actually perform. But these things are running through my head. But once you've done it over and over again and you've had a lot of experience on stage, you can add more theater to it as opposed to worrying about all those restrictions. There you go. Lots of information there about how to put together really quite a simple illusion, simple to a degree. Hope you're enjoying it. Hope you're enjoying these videos. If so, please subscribe, share, comment, do all those wonderful things. But until next time, be safe, look after one another, and remember to always believe.